What if you could feel your wheelchair fly? What if you could hear your body dance? Hi, I'm Sheppard. I'm a disabled dancer and choreographer. You can find me in my solo practice, often upside down like this. And you can find me as the artistic lead and founder of a collaborative called Kinetic Light with disabled artists Laurel Lawson and Michael Magg. In my work, in all my work, disability is an aesthetic. It is not about the deficit of diagnosis. It is not about the individual medical state of your body and mind. It is a source of artistry and technological innovation. Similarly, for access isn't something that you do when disabled people show up to see a performance. It's not about buildings and services. It is a philosophy of community, a way of building relationship with your audience, and it is an aesthetic, a way of making the work in the first place. In solo and in my ensemble practices, I've been thinking about two large questions. How do blind and non-visual audiences hear and feel the music and the sounds of the dance as a sonic and audio art form, not a verbal description of the access on stage? How do deaf and hard of hearing audiences feel the music and also the sounds of our bodies and breath as we dance? I was deep into this exploration when something unexpected happened. From the stage, Laurel and I could see people in the audience twisting and jerking and swaying in their seats. It seemed that they were trying to dance in their chairs, but they weren't wheelchairs. It seemed that they wanted to experience the feeling of choreography on wheels. More questions emerged. What is dance when it is a felt, visceral art form where the choreography on stage is reflected and called for in the choreography of the audience on the auditorium? How can you feel and experience what it is like to dance on wheels? I realized I wasn't just choreographing dance and dance short films. I wasn't just trying to include disabled people. I was centering disabled audiences and using disability access strategies to make artistic experiences as an aesthetic in their own right. I realized that I was trying to expand what we knew of dance from just a visual art form to an audio, sonic art form, to a felt, visceral, shared, embodied art form that communicated stuff between you and me. I realized that I was making multi-sensory, immersive art from disability access strategies. The learning in all my projects is deep and shared, but the Creative Capital project is an ecology of work that emerges from dissent, which I created with collaborators Michael and Laurel. I envision an ecology of work, a dance performance, an app with an audio performance, a sonic installation, and a 360 short film. How are we doing? Well, the dance performance is live and on tour. Thank you, Mertz Gilmore Foundation, Ford Foundation, MAP Fund, NEFA's National Dance Project. We are ready to come to you. And we've made tremendous progress in rendering dance as a sonic audio art form. We've made Descent into a poetry cycle by Eli Clare. We've made it into a soundscape by Dylan Keefe. We have recorded by Javier Molina and Todd Bosch the sounds of our bodies and breath and our wheels on the ramp. And that was that roaring sound that you just heard. That was me on the set going downhill. So we also have the verbal descriptions of light, set, and movement. We've been placing subwoofers under audience seats in various parts of the auditorium, and we've been playing with subpacks, which are vests that turn ambient auditorium sound into pulses you can feel on your sternum or spine. We've got an app, you download it, it syncs to the show, and it's designed by Laurel Lawson, who is also an engineer. We're alpha testing, and we use it for our own performances, but we'll release open source next year. That's a visual realization of what is a haptic interface. You download it, it syncs the show over the Wi-Fi, you can listen to one track, 2 tracks at once, or you can DJ among the experiences themselves. We ran into difficulty, however, trying to render this as a physical experience. VR chairs, it turns out, don't work this way. We learned, as we encountered what we came to call the mocap cure. Motion capture isn't set up to recognize disabled spines. This is Riva Lera, a collaborator on a different project. You can see the shape of her spine and her body, and you can see what the motion capture rendering algorithms do to her body. It normalizes it, normativizes it, and straightens it out. Motion capture is a cure for disability. So, I guess, people are supposed to leave the disabled body behind in the virtual future. We need an introduction to someone who has the play space to figure this out. We need an introduction to someone who has access to the technology or who can dream up the technology to create immersive experiences where you can feel what it is like to dance my choreography on wheels. And people, we need space. We need a home that is not my New York City apartment. I have been working with sets jammed 3 inches up to the walls. When someone quoted $13,000 a week for my ideal space, I drilled holes in my 9-foot New York City apartment to make a temporary aerial studio. People in my building hates me. I need real space. 16 feet high or higher, 40 by 30 in a Manhattan apartment, because I know that this space has to be accessible to the people who are stakeholders in my work. They need to be there. Because I know that when we can see, hear, feel this, we will have expanded what we know of dance, changed how emerging technology works, and built embodied, inclusive experiences for all of us. So I invite you, immerse yourselves with us. Come and feel what it feels like to dance our choreography on wheels. Thank you.